the metronome's making me do. It's making me tense up.
Blame the metronome.
Yeah, I'm going to blame it. Okay, we'll start.
No, we've already started.
Okay, we've already started. Alright, how the metronome ruins music.
What was that thing it's doing my head in?
No, it's tough. That's all it does your head in. You get tense. It's like, okay, ready? Try again. Schumann, Scherzo from Symphony Number 2 in C over 61. Okay, so that's great. I can do it. Sounds bad. I'll try again. I'll try and make it sound beautiful. Okay, I still feel pretty tense and pretty bad. Alright, one more go. I'll try and do all the dynamics, all the beaming with the metronome on, but try and make it sound like music. 1, 2, 1. Oh, and I'm rushing. Why am I rushing? Because I'm tense. Because you rush when you're tense. I had just practiced with the metronome over and over and over, and it made me really tense and anxious, and it made me not follow the beat.
I also subconsciously feel like, it's not true, because the metronome is just that same pulse, right? I subconsciously go, it's getting faster, therefore I have to get faster.
Yeah.
But it's becoming, because it's in my head, I'm getting tenser.
You get tenser, which shortens the bow strokes, which means you rush.
But the myth is that a teacher would tell you, turn it down by 10.
And build it up.
And build it up.
Well, you still hit that critical point where you haven't addressed what the problem is in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have to play with pulse, but pulse is different from playing metronomically every single semiquaver lining up. Look, give me one more chance with this Schumann excerpt. And
you don't get one more chance in an audition.
well, I didn't need one more chance, did I? You see that Schumann has put one semiquaver with a separate little semiquaver tag, and then the next three together. So I'm going to overdo that now, just to, as you follow the music along, you'll see. I actually did it a bit where it wasn't there, but look, you just check out the first line, and it's really interesting. You're supposed to finish a phrase, da-da-da-da-dum, and then begin another phrase, da-da-da-da. Also wanted to say that because music is abstract, it's not words or a picture. It's, you know, little symbols that have been made up to represent pitch. So with our modern way of thinking about rhythm, metronome, machines everywhere, and dividing time perfectly, we forget that it's actually a language. So it's all about text and talking and swaying and getting angry, and all of that stuff is not mathematical, because we're not robots. We don't speak like robots, so we should not play music like robots either. The metronome on for this. You'll all know what it is.
Good luck. Actually, I think this one does need a metronome.
it looks like it should be more free, but actually this
It's not.
is probably worth putting the metronome on after you've learnt it perfectly. Don't learn it through using the metronome because you're just going to be tight and stiff and panicky. Anyway, that kind of disproves my point. Thank you very much. Oh, lovely. Yeah, perfect. All right, so Beethoven was obsessed with the metronome for a little while, and then he tried to play along with it. And apparently there's some letters that say at first he thought it was sent from heaven because he probably was annoyed with people who couldn't play it in time. And Beethoven's music, as we all know, is very rhythmic, and you can see he just wants repetition all the time, and it looks quite rhythmic. But then you've got the slow movement from Symphony No. 9, and the first violins have this incredibly beautiful thing that if you play that in time, there's no music in it whatsoever. So I'm going to get the metronome on for that. Stable. Now, I hope you never waste your life practicing this one with the metronome, because that just sucked. Particularly without the metronome, you can make the difference between 6-note slur, 2, 2, 2, and then 1 separate, and then all the rest, like in bar 102. So, for example, so again, so that's completely free, but if you've got the metronome on, all you want to do is snap it.
Yes, that sounded choppy.
I'm kind of trying to make phrasing, but it's a bit difficult with the metronome on. So just without.
Look, here's the answer, right? When you're playing violin individually or in an ensemble, and this is all about orchestras, right? The orchestra is a group of human beings,
Yeah.
and the metronome is a machine.
Yeah.
Depending on the music, you're a group of humans, and you move together. It's organic.
Yeah, and you'll find that with human beings, because they're so similar in physicality, they need the same amount of time to get from that one separate note back down to that next note. So if you say to a group of people, take the time you need to get between the high note and the low note, they will all be doing it at the same time. So you'll get a whole group of people making, but they're not listening to each other. They're not. They're just taking the amount of time they need to get from one note to the next. And as long as they start together and take the time they need to do the beautiful bowing and do the swells and do the diminuendos and all of that, they will be taking the same time. So metronome, yes, but no.
Done.